get a piece of it.
Look, testing 1, 2, 3. Do not adjust your sets. We told y'all we were gonna come back on the bi-weekly situation. This is 94 Feet of Life Watch Along Edition. We got Champions Classic on the tube. We got NBA in-season tournament on the tube. An assortment of college games in your area. So we literally gonna be sitting here, man, flipping the remote, watching the games. We got guests coming through to talk about hoops, talk about some other sports, man. This is like the virtual sports bar tonight. I got Ham in the building, Trav in the building, 94 Feet of Life is the Facebook group, 94 Feet of Life is the YouTube. Fellas, let's just start. What are y'all watching right now? Cause it's so much on tonight. This is as Trav say, check your battery. What are y'all watching tonight?
Dude, this back button is about to get torn down off this remote control, man. It's wild, man. It's wild. But I'm watching everything, man. Y'all seeing my head on a swivel. That means that I'm turning looking for a skull. I'm turning looking at something because it's just one of those nights. So, hey, man, we here, man. Jay, what I was attending to ask you earlier, what you watch?
I'm watching Little Big League on the Major League Baseball Network. No, I really was with that joint on. I like Little Big League. Shout out to Billy Haywood. But I flipped over to the Big Ten network. Not the Big Ten network, but the channel that show Undisputed, FS1.
No.
They show Big East basketball. So, I can always appreciate that. Right now, you got Providence in Wisconsin. You got Kim English, one of his early games at Providence. Placing Ed Cooley, who went to Georgetown. Georgetown gonna keep a brother in there. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? But I think Marquette and Illinois is what's coming up next. Yeah, that's what's slated to come up next. So I'm just kind of bouncing around. Of course, Champions Classic. And Grizzlies coming out. By the time the Grizzlies get on, I'm going to
Yeah, so what we gonna do tonight, y'all? This is real freestyle, impromptu. You're gonna see some people jump on the line with us for a couple minutes, talk about what's going on in their neck of the woods, in their territory. Trav, Ham, and I will talk just random hoop conversations. This is real free flow, man. This is very informal. So while we waiting on our first guest to show up, fellas, what has kind of struck you in the first? We're about 3-4 weeks into the NBA season. What has kind of struck you off the top early in the league? We don't make too big of judgments, but early in the season, what has kind of grabbed your attention?
Well, a number of things outside of the instantaneous breakdowns and reactions to certain stuff, such as the overreaction, I guess. I guess so. Certain things happening, and we hadn't even reached Thanksgiving, but I think that's just partially just excitement. Folks just ready to talk some basketball wise, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I'm really kind of staying away from a lot of that big shot for that reason. Because it's like, hey, that's how you posted somebody the other day. Like, how did get back Christmas? I think it was about the Clippers. Like, oh, let me around Christmas. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the same way. So, but just that's one of the things I think that stand out for me, just the general overreaction thus far.
So we said we were gonna have guests, but we're gonna call these two gentlemen friends of the program.
Yeah.
And we're gonna waste no time. We got our man Walter Donald on the line, aka Red. And behind the black curtain, somewhere in a gymnasium near you. We got my man G2. We gonna, so we're gonna have our guests on tonight. I really want to make sure that these brothers get a chance to promote what they got going on, because that's what this is really more about. We're gonna get their hoop thoughts, but this is really about promote. So G2, what I want you to do, if you can hear me, turn your camera on when you're ready, and then I'm gonna go to you. But so we'll wait for you to come on the camera, and then we'll go to you. But I want to go to my man. Oh, he ready. So let's do this. Greg looked like he's somewhere outside. I don't know. He might be outside the United Center right now.
Oh, that's funny. I just left one gym and I get to another one, so I'm at this train right now. You know what I'm saying? I need to speed it up a little bit so I'll be on time.
All right, so boom. So since you between games, G2, I'm gonna go to you first. Red, hang in with us. We're gonna be right to you. G2, I want to get just right to it, man. Talk about your tournament. Let's get to it.
So all right, so we we've been having the tournaments for a few years. We call it the G2 Hoop Series, which is broken down into the Hoops for Pink tournament, December 27th through the 29th, all girls. We've had, Cody McMahon that's at Ohio State, Rakia Jackson at Tennessee, Courtney Blakely, Arizona. I want to say the first year for the actual event was December 2017, and we took 2 years off during COVID. And so within 4 years, I think we have 35 playing Division I basketball right now, just from that event alone. And Rakia Jackson be the first draft pick this upcoming WNBA draft next spring. So I think we kind of solidified ourselves as one of the top dogs in that space. That if you got it and you say who you are, you got to come show us. So it's good. This year we got schools like Lawrence Central that feature the Lampley sisters, Lola and Jayla, who are both #1 in their respective classes in the state of Indiana in the 2025 and 26 classes, which is crazy. Lola won a gold medal with the USA team this past summer. I want to say Lawrence Central currently has 7 Division I kids on that team. Then you got Magnificent out of Ohio. I think they got 4 Division I kids, and then Fort Wayne Homestead has about 3 or 4. So, we got Bishop Knoll. We got the top freshman in the area. She's there with us. Thornwood is gonna be solid as well. So it's gonna be a great time. So that's December 27th through the 29th, located at Morton High School in Hammond, Indiana. And then, Mac Jux Invitation to kick off the year. I'm going back to it being 2 days. So it hasn't been 2 days since COVID. So now it's like going back to January 1st and 2nd. And, we've had some of everybody that's played in that. We had Blake Wesley. We had our first draft pick last summer with the Spurs. We got Dante at Oregon. Ron Davis, Louisville, Jonelle Davis, Florida Atlantic. I think, man, this is going on the 7th year for that particular event, and we have over 50 Mac Jux alum that are playing at the Division I level. So I take pride in that we got some movers and shakers that before they take that next step at the collegiate level, they come to us to play.
Listen,
you mentioned John L. Davis. I became a fan of his in March. He balled out.
You remember in high school when he put up like 50 something on St. Louis Christian?
I do. That's what made me really even more engaged in when he got up looking at him in the tournament. Like, I remember young fella.
Listen.
Yep. Yeah. So it's gonna be. I think this year I think we got 4 or 5 Detroit high schools coming. Detroit Renaissance. They got the dynamic backcourt. I think the one young fella, I'm mistaking his name right now. He's a sophomore. I think he has every school in the SEC lefty. Then they got the point guard Larry Stone. He's nice. They got a nice complimentary players as well. We got Old Redford coming. I'm not even gonna say his name. Just look up Detroit Old Redford basketball, and he's probably gonna pop up. He's a 6'8" sophomore wing. Has offers from Arizona, IU, Michigan, everybody, you name it. But he's a dual sport athlete. He has high major offers in football too.
Is he left-handed or right-handed?
You gotta go check it out. You gotta Google and check him out. Hey, he gonna surprise you. Gonna be like, whoa. You know, we got Cardinal Newman coming from Columbia, South Carolina. They got some studs. One of their young boys played for CP3 down there with my guy Steve Shelton and John Adams from CP3. So we got them coming as well. So we got some local schools here. Bishop Noel right now is projected to win the 3A title in Indiana. They like I said, if we can stay healthy and everybody's just flowing, that's gonna be a fun team to see. It's actually a rematch. They playing Detroit Renaissance again because that game was so good. They was like, no, we got to have part 2 of this. So they're gonna be playing each other. It's gonna be fun. And then we got one girls game this year in the Mag Jug. It's Chicago Butler Prep versus South Bend Washington. So between those two teams, at any given point on in the game, you're going to have at least 7 Division I kids on the floor. South Bend Washington, they have Kira Renters, who's one of the top. Kira, I think she's ranked number 2 in the state of Indiana, but she's a top 45 player. They have Raya, Monique. They both have multiple offers. They have a freshman stud that's really good. And then at Butler Prep, My Walton, she's probably going to win Miss Basketball Illinois, Northwestern commit. I expect her to probably put up about 30 plus a game this year as a senior.
So where can people? Can people buy tickets in advance, or I know a couple years you were doing like tickets, online sales?
Oh, for sure. We know we got the box office, baby. You know we come on now.
Okay.
You know we do that. So tickets go on sale to the general public on Friday. So they can go to on Friday they can go to seat.com, and seat is spelled S as in Sam, the number 3, the number 4, T.com.
Make sure we get that link so we can put it off in the group.
For sure.
And everywhere else.
Absolutely. And you know, we got the Jack Nicklaus seats. We still do the VIP courtside seats. And I want to tell people, I was one of the first people that was like, no, get the courtside seats at the high school. And people like, they ain't gonna buy them. Then they walk in the gym and people sitting courtside.
Listen,
are they engaged in the popcorn power rankings like you are?
Oh man, you know what? So they try to be, J-Ham, they try to be, but like I tell people is in the popcorn wars, it's like you have to have a certain essential skill set for that. That ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? It ain't for everybody. It's so funny. I had an athletic director the other day hit me up and was like, man, you gotta come to one of our games and record doing the popcorn. And I was like, oh man, you paying? That sounds like you trying to get people to come to your game.
Listen, the popcorn power rankings is a serious thing. Like we joke about the popcorn, but it's serious.
It's legit, man. I'm about to try some popcorn at the school I'm going to right now. I ain't gonna put their name out there, but I hope they ain't burn it.
Listen, G2 Greg Jones, man, founder, operator of G2 Hoops. When we say we not just a bunch of dudes talking, we serious. And this is Exhibit A of what we talking about, man. G2 has safe travels on the road. We're going to definitely send us that link again. We're going to promote the tournament heavy as it gets closer to it, man. Appreciate you jumping on with us.
Hey, I appreciate y'all having me in the palace. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a mere civilian.
I'm just
trying to be here. I appreciate y'all for taking the time out of y'all day to let me know.
Oh, God.
That's all I'm saying. I be feeling like back in the golden era of hip hop, back in the day, if I was standing outside Def Jam Records in New York, like, hey, take my mixtape, please take my mixtape. All right, fellas, y'all be easy. I'm gonna talk to y'all.
Be good.
All right, G. And speaking of G, we gonna go to another great one. Nice, the great one.
Nice.
It's my man Red. Red, we're just gonna start with the obvious. How the hell you talking to Brian Urlacher? What that Red? So Red and I talk offline, text each other, whatever. I'm at work. He sent me the link. I'm like, okay, Red got his next episode of this podcast, which we gonna plug. I click it. I'm at lunch. I click it, and I hear a voice on. I'm like, what? It's Brian Urlacher. Red, how did that come together? It was a dope interview. The people should definitely go back and listen. We're gonna plug it again. But how does that come about, man?
Hey, man, look, first of all, it's just great to be back on the network with the brothers, man, spinning with the brothers. As I look at each one of y'all, man, I just think about how we connected. You know what I mean? And connection is real and manifestation is real, man. And it was just funny, man. Shout out to the Sports Critic, man, because the Sports Critic was the plug on that one. And it was amazing how it even came to be. Like, apparently my man does some high-end limo driving on the side and calls me one day at work like, hey, brother, you ain't going to believe who I'm riding around. I'm like, who? He said, BU. I said, what? So he said, look, bro, I'm going to go pick him up in a couple of hours and I'm going to call you. I'm like, I bet. So I happened to be doing something when he called, but I'm like, man, this cat might have lack on the line, man. So I click over. Sure enough, he made the introduction. Hey, Mr. Urlacher, this is my buddy Red I was telling you about, man. You know, and I'd start hollering at him, man, just dropping some jewels on him real quick, like out the gate. So he knew what type of, fan I was.
Right.
I wasn't no, you know what I'm saying? But he knew I knew what I was talking about, right? And if you check that interview out, Brian Urlacher will tell you I'm on my stuff. So look, it's really dope, Big Shot, because I remember just even trying to figure out how to get guests on the Bare Naked Truth. And you were one of the first to grace us with your presence, brother. And I appreciate you riding shotgun with me on the episode that you popped on, you feel me? And we're going to do it again soon. But it was just really dope, man. And the thing of it is, I got to tell y'all something. And this is a network exclusive I'm about to drop. It's funny how I'm talking to this man. I tell him about the show. He was like, take my number down there. I was like, bet. Took his number down. I'm texting with my man. This was Thursday now. I ended up booking the man Monday, that following Monday. Now, that never happens because the man didn't know me from Adam. But if you listen to that interview, you would swear me and Brian Urlacher could go back 20 years.
Right.
Yeah, y'all was on first name basis.
Right.
Bro, he calling me Walt, man. I'm like, look, I'm tripping, Big Shot. I got my man number in my phone, right? So I'm hitting him. And I told him, though, I said, you know what, Lack? I want to do something different, man. I don't want to talk about this current Bears team. I want to go back in the day, bro. I want to celebrate your Hall of Fame career. You feel me? And, brother, I made that man feel so comfortable with the questions I was just throwing at him, batting practice style in the home run derby. You feel me? Like, he was knocking them joints out the park. Look, it's funny, right? I got to go back to the text thread, Big Shot. No, I'm gonna show you this. I told him, I was like, and look, I still ain't got to the good part yet, but I told him, I was like, hey, bro, I got you, big dog. I'm coming over some, I'm gonna give you the layout before the show just so you know what's up, man. Give you some layups. He was like, I don't do layups, homie. I was like, bet, my man. But this the funny part, like coming up to the time of the show, because I'm off on Mondays. Now I hit him immediately, was like, hey man, if you ain't doing nothing Monday, man, we could spin in. He was like, Monday might work, and got his schedule. And he was off an hour because he thought he was 3 hours behind, but he was only 2. So he called me like that morning. Well, he texted me. I don't even be calling him like that, but he texted me and he was like, hey man, can you do it at 12 instead of 1? I screwed up the time. I was like, we could rock right now if you want to, sir. You feel me? That's how I'm feeling. So I'm like, man, I got me one on the hook. But I thought he was going to cancel on me, B. And the devil is a lie because he kind of put that in my mind like, man, Lack going to cancel on you, B. Something going to come up and it's going to be hard for you to get him back on the line. But that did not happen, as we all know. And I'm just gracious. I even told him, B, I was like, look, fam, I'm going to incorporate you in the Bare Naked Truth going forward. I'm trying to see how I want to ask it, man. So maybe y'all can help me out with it. What little segment are we going to call the little Brian Urlacher joint? I was going to say what would Brian do, but that's kind of cliche-ish, man. We'll
Right.
talk offline and get something creative. You feel me?
All right, Ray, this is what I want you to do. I want you to, if you could stay on the line with us, I want you to stay because we got a brother in traffic. And anytime we got somebody in traffic, I don't want to hold them.
What?
So, Trav or Ham, I'm gonna let you introduce this gentleman because this is friends of the program. This is everybody's friend. So, Ham, who we got on the line?
We got one of the contributors. Actually, y'all remember that group Sports Global? We stole this cat pretty much from Sports Global. He was one of the real ones over there. You know what I'm saying? And we spot hoop heads. It's like, oh yeah, we got to bring him over to the spot, to the lair. So this my guy from this Coach Tarnell Davis. Where you at now, Coach? Coach, I'll let you drop your whole introduction because you already know you got plenty of just game and everything. So drop it on him, Coach.
I got you. So, Tarnell Davis, obviously, been coaching college now overall 15 years. I spent 2 years of a volunteer situation at a couple of different JUCOs, and then I found myself up in Chicago at Elgin Community College for a very long time, where we was able to, build a lot and send a lot of good kids to a lot of great places. And I'm also involved with the AAU program in this area named EPIC, which is an acronym, which is Empowering People in Christ, because it's a religious-based program. But we help a lot of kids get to a lot of places too, especially since they're kids that per se wouldn't be able to pay for programs like normal. So we fundraise for them. We put them in good positions so that way they can go and dominate life. So that's just been my short synopsis over at Elgin. We our best year, won 31 games, and we went to a national title that we lost, unfortunately. But we were able to do a lot of great things over
there. Again, the basketball connections that we got rolling around this. Like, we know cats that do stuff, man. I mean, regardless of whether it's refereeing, scouting, coaching, independent media work, whatever that we all doing, you know what I'm saying? It's just the circuit, you know what I'm saying, that we even created with this network in general. It's dope. You can't get nowhere. We got merch. Coach, plug your podcast, Coach. Let the people know about the podcast.
I got you. So I'm working on a podcast. My podcast is named Parks to Pros. Reason I chose that name is I came up in the era of we had to go to the park. You had to get it in there. You had to make a name for yourself. Even if you weren't the biggest name on the block, hey, you got to show up. You got to do what you do. Otherwise, you got about a 2 or 3 hour wait over here. So that's where that synopsis of that came from. But at the same time, too, we're all pros and something else in life at this point, whether we coaching, just got kids. Whatever it is, we got to be a professional and we got to look professional and we just got to be the part of life that, everybody else is trying to siphon off of because we all got things we got to do. So that's where that name came from. And when it hit me in my mind, I was like, yeah, okay, that fits. And I bounced it off a couple of people and it was like, yeah, did you LLC that yet? Yes. I had to.
You got to. Right. You just got to, man.
Yeah. So that's where that came from. And, it was mainly like, we grew up and, I'm from like a lot of situations. We didn't come from money. And I had all these friends and we went on to do all this great stuff. I was like, hey, man, let's talk about it. So one of my best friends, I grew up with him. I interviewed him. He ended up playing football at North Dakota State, but we all thought we was going to the league. And, that didn't work out. So that's where the podcast came from. So now I use it to interview coaches of all backgrounds. So that's the way they can really let people know, like, the way some of this stuff goes, because you wouldn't believe some of the things that, goes on that, we're not able to really talk about, because of compliance departments.
Oh, he just said a whole lot. Just all what we know, you know what I'm saying? Just the 4 of us on the screen right now, 5 of us on the screen right now. That's just all of what we know. Not just in hoops, but just how it goes just in the sports world in general.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's just
so Coach, what ages is your nonprofit? What age range do you work with?
So we do so I'm the director of speed and agility for the entire program, and everything that they have to do as far as their weight training and their eating programs, that runs through me too. So we start at 2nd grade and we go all the way up to 17U. So for my 17U, we usually try to keep the same kids in the program all the way through. So this group I actually played together for the last 8 years. So we've just been running around the country running rep shot on people at this point because they know how to play together. So there's just certain things that we can say that's just going to happen. So the last tournament that they played in, we took them out to Vegas, and they did pretty well. We ran into a team from Idaho, and they were just too damn strong for us, to be honest. As far as us, like, height-wise,
Idaho.
man, because they took us apart a little bit. I was like, whoa, time out. Hey, look, go get them. I don't know what's wrong with them, but we can't make a shot right now. And this is not what we do. So, but yeah, I think, and there was another factor that we didn't realize. We got to Vegas, and this was the week where it was just stupid hot. So we're hydrating them and all this stuff. Now, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday's games were in the gym that it might have been 107 in that gym.
Damn.
We come to Saturday,
Coach, look,
we win the first game. What's up?
I got a question. Now, that team from Idaho, I know everybody is thinking this. Did it have any brothers on it?
Of course not. No, of course not.
I was thinking a team full of Mike Millers.
Mike Millers, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Although he's South Dakota, but same general.
That's what it looked like. And we was like, okay, because they played a team from like the Midwest before us, and they zoned them. And I'm like, I really don't want to put y'all in a zone because we score too much. But the problem was they overhydrated, in my opinion, because they went from that super hot situation, and the morning game that we played, still in the hot-ass gym. The afternoon game, definitely in a frozen gym. So it's like we went to two polar opposites, and I done told y'all to drink all this dang water or hydrate or fruit and everything like that. And it just like they just looked like they had 10 pounds on each foot.
Wow.
Right.
So we got up 19-15, and then it's like we went through a slump, and it's like, okay, we're running, 1-4 screens to get layups. We'll make the layup, and then they come right down three. It's like, okay, we're trading twos for threes now because you can't make a jump shot. This is not it. So yep.
Mike Miller.
We were waiting. They really wanted to win because the other team that won, that made it to the title, the Idaho team beat them too. Kenny Smith's team, son was on that team, the Genesis team. We were about to play him. So it's like, we want to play Smith. We want to play him. And then we couldn't get to him. Everybody else over there, we ran through them. There was one cat that was he was from the state of Washington. He was averaging 25. Their team scored 26. We shut teams down usually.
Wow.
Wow. Cold-blooded game there, man. So where the next episode coming out, Coach?
Next episode, I'm waiting on to do one on my guy Shim. He's at McCary County College, but he got into a car accident. Okay. So I was waiting to do him. I have the Milwaukee Tech coach. I have his situation taken care of. I want to get my guy from Elon on, but the problem is he's flying around the country to do stuff too. So it's like I want to stagger it where it's JUCO guy, NAIA guy, maybe D1 guy. Then I just want to keep going around the board because they're all saying, good things, but it just comes from a different place. Maybe, because of where somebody might have grew up, the kind of kids that need to play in that conference, which is a conversation I think that needs to be had a lot more because everybody thinks they're just D1, but it's like, okay, can you go guard your position in this conference? They do a lot of shooting in this conference. There's a lot of flex play. There's a lot of, secondary break actions. Can you handle all that stuff? And you can't handle the plays that you're trying to learn here. So I think those are the conversations that I'm going to have with those guys so that way they can start to break that kind of stuff up. Then once I get back to Division II, what I want to have the D2 guys talk about is I want to have them talk about the 4-4-4 rule, which is going to be big for high school recruiting now because it's going to start to level this playing field a little better.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, Coach, we need to definitely make sure in Ham, we need to get his information for sure because, we got Coach, Myron, Les, G2. I would love to connect those three with him.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I think that would be, those guys have all seen the game at different levels. I would love to connect them. So, hey, make sure we get this brother's information. Brother, if you could plug your foundation, where they can find the podcast, so we can get it out to the people. Go ahead.
All right, I got you. You can find clips of the podcast on TikTok. We got over 5,000 rock with us over there. You can find us on YouTube at Parks to Pros Pod. It's always Parks to Pros Pod, just because I wanted to throw the pod in there.
Okay.
You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. My girl runs the Instagram page. So it's just about right now making clips, but I just don't want to oversaturate conversations that I know that people don't know, but then I want to blow it up with other situations too. So what I'm
Gotcha.
also going to start to add in there is because of all this speed and agility stuff, a lot of my kids don't pursue college basketball. Let me just say that. Right now, the starting safety that's at Minnesota, that's one of my kids. That running back that's there, that's also his little brother that's playing starting running back now. That's also one of my kids. So I got a lot of football players situations too. Tyler Newbin's one of my guys. I've had him since he was a baby. And we just got a chance to see him when he came down here to Northwestern. So it's a lot of football guys too.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
All right, Coach. Coach, we're going to let you get to where you need to get to. Have a safe journey. We're going to absolutely, though, Ham, we're going to connect you with MJ and Greg and Les.
Yeah, we're going to hook that up. We're going to hook that up.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Thank you for
All
coming
right,
on.
I appreciate you. No problem. I
Appreciate
appreciate y'all. I'll be listening.
All right.
Yeah, my God.
Yep.
Listen. We told y'all this was going to be the virtual sports bar. We weren't playing. We got games. So while we waiting to see, we might have a couple other people rocking through. I think our guys from the dish are going to drive through.
Let me go grab something.
Go ahead.
Cool.
Go ahead.
So while we doing that, fellas, Ham was talking about the early season observations. Now, let's talk about I always like to call it the news of the day. While we waiting on the next guest. Trav, Ham. The blue side of LA, the blue and the red side of LA. It's early. I caveat everything. It's early. I don't like it though. I'm not a fan of it. Cause we talk about this before. We talk about fits. I don't know if them four guys fit together, especially at this point in their careers.
Trey, go ahead. I'll let you start.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. I don't think it was a good fit. We all thought it wasn't a good fit. But I'm not going to say we need to press the red button yet, Big Shot. Okay. I'm not going to say it yet. We still got 70-some odd games to go. We got to find a decent chemistry between these two, between those four. The whole team in general. They need to find, because to be honest, they probably ain't even practice with dude like that.
Yeah.
And you're just playing with him just because he's there at this point, just to see what's going on. At the end of the day, hopefully we'll see some. But right now, people are pressing the eject button, and we still got over 70 games.
I think that is fair. I think it is still early. I guess my question for the Clippers is simply just going to be this: how are they managing, like, finishing games? Right? You talk about Westbrook, George, Leonard, Harden, right? If you talk about finishing a game against Tyrell Lambe's Lakers, the Lakers can throw LeBron out there and AD. Now, you can say, well, I mean, LeBron AD, that's a good matchup. That's not a good matchup for the Clippers because of the strength and the size. Like, and the one thing that because of the injury, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are not the two-way players they once were because of the injury. Russell Westbrook is going to give you the effort on defense, but because of his flawed playmaking, can he be on the floor at the end of the game? Which means it goes now back to James Harden. And James Harden is he is what he is. So I don't know. So I think the Clippers. I think if this is supposed to be winning to win the chip, which I don't think they're going to, they're still another move short. I
You know
believe.
what, Big Shot? You know what? You know how your rule is? It's like your head coach can't be the best player.
Yeah, head coach can't be the best player on the team.
In this case, the head coach is the best point guard, the best ball handler in game situation, but he ain't on the floor.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh,
Tyronn Lue can't be the best point guard on the team.
cannot be. Cannot be.
Can't happen. But listen, we got company.
For me,
Go ahead. I'm
for-
gonna let Ham
for me,
finish.
though-
Wait, then we gotta choose our guest.
for me, I saw that Sunday when the Grizz beat them.
That last possession versus the Grizzlies, I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. But I will tell you who that trade has worked out for. I ain't gonna say it's worked out for him. It's just continued it. It's sure worked out for Tyrese Maxey.
Ooh.
It sure has worked out for Tyrese.
Ooh.
Player of the week, dropped the 50 piece.
I
Yeah.
watched that game yesterday.
Yeah. Tyrese. Cause you know what James Harden, you just go stand in the corner and wait for the ball to come to you.
Nah.
He's on the ball more, and it's worked out lovely. But listen, we got two guests. So because we got two guests, we're going to cover a couple different topics. We got Ty Love from The Dish. We got my main man, Josh Thorne from The Dish. They're going to talk to us about off-season baseball. But since we got Josh on the line, and we are about, 10 days from the game. About 10 days from the game. And we know the shenanigans are afoot in Ann Arbor. We will definitely get Josh's take on Ohio State, Michigan. We'll get a little early preview on that. But Ty, Josh, thank you for joining us. I guess I'm going to start with Ty, right? Now, for those of y'all who don't know, Ty and Trav have a very much brotherly love-hate relationship with each other when it comes to baseball.
Just hate.
Yeah, I was trying to make it nice, but okay. Yes, hey. So, Ty, here's my question for you to start there. We're going to get into Ohtani. We'll get into that. Here's why I want to start with you, Ty. I feel like at some point, Dave Roberts has walked this tightrope for so long. Y'all got the chip in 2020. But does the credit on him for that chip run out after next year?
That's a good question, Big Shot. And yes, I strategically placed this background because you asked this question.
Because a good meme is relevant more than once.
Got it.
So Roberts has 2 years left. Of course, with how much money has gone into that organization, the ownership and the winners as part of that ownership team, the disappointed look in Billie Jean King and Magic Johnson's face, you bet he'd be in trouble if there's not another deep postseason run. And when I say deep, you have the World Series or nothing. This World Series a bust. So if that doesn't happen, then he's up for, that review. The great 100-win seasons is great. The division crowns are great, but only one title. And what some would say a COVID year, it's not a good look for Dave. And that's just the truth. That's the facts.
What? Now, we've talked about the well-documented struggles of Clayton Kershaw in the postseason. It's well documented. It is what it is. You talk about the money spent. Ohtani is obviously a free agent. The Dodgers are linked, along with every other big franchise in baseball. I guess this probably go to Josh as well. Would the Dodgers be better off? Are the Dodgers better served getting in a race for frontline pitching? Or do you say we just gonna go ahead and just do the Dodger thing and we gonna get in the front of the line for Ohtani?
So historically speaking, LA's been the city of you build it, they will come, bring the big names, and we get them, tag them and bag them, right? But that was decades ago, and it hasn't really worked per se in the Dodgers' favor. So if you can get them, great. But I say add as much starting pitching when you have this deep of like free agency as far as talent pitching wise, you get whatever you can get instead of just the big name. And then Ohtani, he wants to play for someone that has a bright future. So that's why a lot of teams are being brought up and nobody knows because he wants, to build something and sustain it, not just, a rental.
If he want to play for something better with a bright future, he going to play for the Oklahoma City Thunder right now. Nobody got a brighter future than the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh my gosh.
If Josh want to name some of those teams that have been interested in Ohtani.
Everybody.
But name one of at least 3 of them.
Don't you do it, Storms. But take it away.
Do it.
Well, so obviously we got the Dodgers, we got the Cubs, and everybody knows the Angels are interested in bringing him back, even though they won't get him. Trav, the floor is yours. I'm not helping you on this one.
Good man.
So the big rumor of that is he's trying to come south down here to Atlanta.
No. The rumor wasn't
just
that
making
he's
it up.
trying.
It's just been a little rumor or whatever. It's been a rumor.
All really that happened though is a reporter asked him if he would be opposed to playing for the Braves, and because he's not stupid, he said no. They're the best team on paper in baseball. They have been for 3 or 4 years. So yeah, it would be stupid to count them out, even if Atlanta is not the city he wants to be in. Because if the money's right, the baseball situation is definitely right.
I'm gonna tell you what happened with that. He saw those lives and those what you call them on Facebook joints, that stay for 24 hours. He saw Big Shot at Morehouse Homecoming. He's like, oh yeah, I gotta get down.
It was the bucket hat. It was the bucket that did it.
They don't have nothing like that at a
Listen, man, Shohei, we'll go get some wings. You know what I'm saying? We'll hit some establishments. It'll be a good time.
Sure.
Josh, I want to get you back in because there's a couple things in it. The NL Central kind of went real topsy-turvy over the last couple weeks. But let's start with your hometown club though, because when I was really watching baseball like late 90s, not late 90s, like late 80s, early 90s, the Reds were kind of the team for the streets. Like you might have had your favorite team, your whatever. The Reds were kind of the team for the street because the Reds had Eric Davis, Barry Larkin. If you want to go old head, like Dave Parker, like the Reds had some of them guys, and they had a long streak of kind of futility, but a resurgence this year. What is the next step for the Reds after a kind of a real resurgent season this year?
The next step is pitching. Pitching, and obviously every team wishes for health. We've got 3 young studs that just can't seem to stay healthy. And it's, it's getting to the point where you're starting to worry that if it continues, it may stunt their growth and progression. Right. But that being said, like Ty said, there is a wealth of starting pitching on the market right now. And I would, obviously I would love them to go after, every top flight starting pitcher on the market, but being realistic, I think a reunion with Sonny Gray would be perfect. Obviously, he fits the culture. He's 2 years removed from Cincinnati. I think they'll probably make a run at Eduardo Rodriguez. They tried to get him at the deadline, but that, and then the bullpen. Our bullpen overachieved last year. It's full of, we got a lot of young arms, but we need to shore up the back end of the bullpen, and I think a big thing. Jonathan India is getting a lot of traction on the trade rumors. They said they weren't going to move him, but it's looking like he's just going to be the odd man out, kind of like Votto was. There just isn't enough playing time for a below average second baseman who can't seem to find his bat anymore.
Mm. Now, in the NL Central, I'm glad we got my man Walter on here, a Cub fan. On a Sunday afternoon, getting ready to watch a little football. All of a sudden, ding, 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 ding. Greg Counsell has accepted the job with the Cubs. Coming over the border. He's going to cross the border. He's going to drive down and take 94 East, get off at Addison to Chicago. Josh Tyrell. How did this happen?
That's a good question right there. Somebody knows somebody.
I mean, this isn't unprecedented, though, for them. This is exactly what happened when they hired Joe Madden. And then he went and won them a World Series.
At my expense, by the way.
Yeah. That was the only part of that I enjoyed. Anyway. No, but I mean, when you have a chance to go out and get one of, if not maybe aside from the guy who just won his third World Series, maybe the best manager in the game, you do it. Especially when you feel like you're right on the cusp and the guy who currently holds the position maybe isn't going to get you there. This may be a little unfair. It's maybe a little unfair for David Ross, but it is a business.
Yeah.
I heard Ozzie Guillen didn't like it. He didn't think it was an upgrade. That's what I heard.
Ozzie Guillen is a real Grinch of the MLB. He's a Grinch. We know
He's loved in the shine, so
he ain't shy. He's not shy for words, and he's definitely gonna give you his opinion. So it doesn't. I'm gonna tell you another. People don't think he's a Grinch because he's basically the new Mr. October, but the shortstop from the Yankees, I can't even think his name, Jeter. He's a Grinch also, believe it or not. But he's accurate with his predictions, though. I can tell you that. It's very accurate, but he's very blunt with it. And people don't like it. It's a lot of people.
Now, because we always like the working man is here. So the working man is here. We got Jay Storms on the line. So now we're going to transition to a little football here. I said we're going to talk about the big game. We're going to talk about Ohio State, Michigan, since we got Storms on the line. And we got Jern. With the shenanigans to the side.
Yeah, shenanigans.
It's definitely shenanigans. There's no doubt. Ohio, it seems like we've said this a couple times of late, but I think this is really prevalent this year. I think the stakes this year in the big game, assuming Ohio State, Michigan take care of business and everybody's healthy Thanksgiving weekend, I can't think of many Ohio State versus Michigan games that have been as big as this one in the last 10 years. There have been some big ones. This is break the internet possibilities.
This is the biggest one since 06, the 1-2 game.
Dang, we going back to Troy Smith and Mike Hart days. Let's go.
Wow.
I think it's big. I think it's bigger than that. I think it's bigger than that.
So listen, man. Listen. First of all, shout out to y'all. I want y'all to know y'all having a hell of a show. I'm watching in the comments. I'm trying to find my way to weasel my way in. I still got to talk to me. So with that being said, great show. I'm gonna come. Give me 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Okay, Josh. While we wait for Jerm, you're saying the biggest one since 2006?
Yeah, I think so.
See, okay. So let me ask you this. All right, hold on. Now let's do this.
Let's do it, Jerm.
Because listen, I work now. Now, for those who don't know, I actually run a fast food restaurant near the Ohio State University.
Yes.
So
Michigan
and Ohio State last year when they lost, my lobby was clear. My lobby was flooded from 3:30 p.m. till 9:30 p.m. nonstop. And if they would have won, it would have been until I closed. All I'm trying to say to y'all is these kids don't play. They don't play about their food and they don't play about their Buckeyes. Now, what I will tell you is this. I love what he said about 06, but I think 06 is just a different year because we're talking about rankings, right? We're talking about them being top 3 in the country, in the nation. Right. I think this game is bigger than that, though, because here's the first problem. If one of them lose, how can you knock the other out of the top 4?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because this is the most evenly matched they've ever been. Ever. When I say evenly matched, they have guys that can match up with Ohio State on the outside. I don't think they can stop them. But Ohio State also doesn't have a C.J. Stroud, a Joe Burrow, or RIP to my guy that used to play for the Steelers.
Dwayne Haskins.
It doesn't have a Haskins. And I will tell y'all, and I can tell y'all this, and we can show it on tape. The game that Haskins and Ohio State lost that year to Purdue, Haskins was dealing. They had 9 drops that game. And they lost that game by a score. Yeah. You're talking about that being one of the better Ohio State teams we have seen in a while. That was a team that still had, I believe they had both Bosa and Chase, if I'm not mistaken.
They did.
Yeah.
So you're talking about, but you're talking about all the talent that has come out of Ohio State, and this to be a down year, and you're the number 1 team in the country. That's crazy. Yeah. That's nuts. And Michigan is not the same Michigan that they were last year, but they're still good.
Michigan, to me, what I've seen in Michigan this year is this Michigan team this year is a little bit more physical than the team was last year. I think last year's offense was better, but I think this year's team physically is better. They can stand up a little bit better than they did last. Last year, the offense was good, but this year I think is bigger. But I think the shenanigans make it so interesting because, and I wish Red was on here because me and him talked about this on his podcast. I wonder if Harbaugh don't do a Pete Carroll. When Pete Carroll got pinched, when Pete Carroll got USC pinched, Pete said, "You know what? I'll just go ahead and go to Seattle. And y'all can deal with this madness." I wonder if this isn't the thing that pushes Harbaugh back to the league.
Different shenanigans, just pointing that out, Pete.
Different shenanigans. It is different shenanigans, but it's shenanigans.
And remember, when they brought Pete back to Seattle, they gave Pete all the power.
So I want this game about Harbaugh, but I think, and Josh can speak to this, I feel like Ryan Day still doesn't have. There's still something about Ryan Day that everybody don't buy into. And I'm not saying the Buckeye fans don't buy into Ryan Day. I feel like the outside, there's like
he needs this one.
It's like it's Ryan Day's a good. He's a really good coach.
It's real simple.
Mm-hmm.
Look no further than John Cooper.
I was about to say that.
If you can't beat the team up north, you cannot be our coach. Period.
Wait. No, wait. I'm not going to totally disagree. Hold on.
The John Cooper reference is tough, though. That's tough.
Gotta unzip the jacket a little.
He's a better coach than Cooper. I'm not saying they're the same guy.
Oh no. Oh no. I like where you went, but let me take it a step further because this is the step that matters. The step that matters the most isn't just beating Michigan; it's recruiting. He's not getting the recruits that Urban was getting from down south. Let's talk about that.
He's chasing the ghost of Urban too, though.
Because you said what?
He's chasing the ghost of Urban. I mean, as far as look at the win totals, how fast he's done it, but you're down 0-2 back-to-back years to Michigan, and that's kind of hurting the legacy.
And you know what's killing them is defensively. When is the last time they've had the marquee rusher? Since Chase left, they don't have any guys that stop that you stop and say on the scouting report, hey, listen, this defensive player is a first round pick, top 5 pick in overall selection in the draft. Now, is he getting great offensive linemen? I'm not going to dispute him there. I love what they're doing with the trenches. I think the trenches is the closest thing that we're going to get. The quarterbacks are Jekyll and Hyde. I think we all have talked about it. There is no quarterback either. Closest thing you're going to get is Bama and what Ohio State and Ohio State and Alabama are the only 2 teams that have put in consistent starting quarterbacks in the league the last 6 to 7 years. They're the only one that's had 2 to 3 starters from their school at a collective time at one time in the NFL.
Sure.
One of them might win Rookie of the Year this year and MVP.
He called. He doing his thing.
So, and we talking about a guy who did not play good last year in the Michigan game, and probably he should have took over that game last year as the quarterback that he is. And CJ Stroud is top 3 all time Ohio State quarterbacks. He's top 3 all time Ohio State quarterback. As far as a talent, there is not there. You can't name me 2 guys better, and you may not be able to name me 1 better than what CJ Stroud is.
Look, Jerm, I'm finna make it even easier for you. He's top 3, and he is not 2 or 3.
And it's interesting with and you think about it with CJ Stroud. I think this is where it becomes such an interesting conversation regarding Ryan Day. I'll go back to Josh. Is if you look at this team, look at the team last year. They came to the Mercedes-Benz Dome in the national semi, and was that close. It was that close. It took a 50-yard field goal at damn near midnight. It was almost 2023. The clock almost changed. It went from 2022 to 2023, and they played Georgia as well as you could play Georgia last year. So I think there's a part of me that says, because I'm not really the biggest Harbaugh fan, but the game is in the big house. We know how Ohio State Michigan goes again. I think this might be, me and MJ have a saying, the better the game is, the worse the food you should eat. This could be greasy chicken, greasy fries, 2 liters.
Big shot. It's probably worse than that. This is Harold's Chicken night.
This could be a Harold's Chicken. This could be Harold's.
The bag broke at the bottom.
What's the joint in Cincinnati? What's it? The Skyline Chili. This might be double the Skyline Chili situation.
Hey, and just to say this too, y'all, I think it's interesting too, because this is something we can definitely do a whole show for the Ohio State and Michigan game.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna say this right now.
I know y'all know that now. Because we make the program.
There needs to be a view from the 22 Ohio State versus Michigan.
Watch along.
Yeah,
we can do it however we decide to do it. I'm down. I'm letting y'all know though, the biggest thing in this game that I'm looking forward to see is how does Ohio State deal with Michigan in the trenches. That's going to determine everything we need to know. Because the longer, Marvin, the longer them receivers are active, the worse it gets for Michigan.
Yeah.
Because the stems of those routes that Ohio
Oh.
State, the stems is different. It's not. This is
Trav,
not the
what
same.
happened?
Okay, so
This is watch along, y'all. So we watch again.
62-54, Duke is over Michigan State. But the free throw differential, Duke has gone 20 of 24 from the free throw line.
Yeah.
Michigan State has only went 2 for 5.
That's Duke.
See, they be paying for us, man. I can't be.
Oh,
That
man,
is
you
Duke.
part of Big Blue Nation. That's another one where we're gonna see free throw discrepancies.
You gonna see it. You may see it.
I don't want to hear Trav talk about free throws at all for like another 2 weeks.
Before we rock out, since I got my two, we're gonna just be done covered.
Hey man, let me hating on the free throw. The straight up foul ass dude, man. Come down, man. Come back from the water break from this, man.
Man, them folks only shot 5 free throws, and it's 2 minutes and 45 seconds left.
They shoot and drop them. They ain't our fault.
So we talked NBA, Major League Baseball, college football, college basketball. We didn't had high school. We even covered it all. So let's finish it off with the NFL. And here is my grand pronouncement.
Are you gonna go there?
This is my grand pronouncement. I'm not saying this with any amount of confidence. The winner of the AFC Central AFC North goes to the Super Bowl.
Okay, hey, let me take it a step further. Y'all want to talk crazy? You want to talk greasy? Cleveland out physical, outplayed, outclassed, outmatched, out destroyed, out dominated, outdated the Ravens on Sunday.
It needed to be talked about. This needed
Now,
listen, y'all got off easy last night because I got caught up at work. Y'all got off easy. We gonna talk about this. And I got
let it out,
film
let
to
it out.
show. I got film to show y'all folks on this one. Some real deal film. They dominated these people. They chased them in their building, outside their building. That game,
14.
that game right there is the statement game that Cleveland needed in order for them to be taken serious by me.
I tell you this about I will tell you this about Cleveland, and I'm gonna get Josh back in. And Tyrell, we ain't forgot about you because we have to discuss. We're gonna discuss the Dolphins just a little bit.
Nah, the AFC North needs to be figured out. Nobody can figure it out. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
We're gonna
talk about the Dolphins.
We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna give it this last 5 to 10 minutes. But so here's what I see with the AFC North, right? I see a Bengals team. The Bengals, the question is just gonna be for me are the Bengals skill position guys gonna be healthy?
Mm-hmm.
I think Joe Burrow looks like he's over the calf thing. It's just going to be a matter of are going to be enough weapons to throw to. If there's enough weapons to throw to, Bengals very dangerous. Cleveland's defense will keep you in the game most Sundays.
Because Myles Garrett is a cheat code.
Because Myles Garrett, they got the front. They might have the best front seven in the NFL.
Him and
So
old boy from Green Bay.
There's Cleveland. Then there's Pittsburgh, who still is on big shots for unwatchable teams. Be very clear. However, they win close games. They're not going to beat themselves. And then we have Baltimore. I put this in the comments and views. I was ready to pick Baltimore 2 weeks ago to win the AFC 2 weeks ago. However, and Jerm can speak to this, Josh, y'all can all speak to this. The NFL right now is a league of 1 to 2 possession games, with the exception of a few. Most games in the NFL is 10 points or less. If your quarterback is going to give it away twice every week, them the 2 possessions. right there.
And one of them is going to be in the fourth quarter.
He's done it, and it's not even. We get accused of hating, but it happens every week. Happens every week. Lamar is going to give you the ball in the fourth quarter at least once, and you can't do it. You can go up and down that field as many times as you want to. If you turn that ball over in close games, it will bite you. So my not so grand is, Captain Obvious prediction. The AFC North champion will win the AFC. And this is just process of elimination. I hate what's going on in Buffalo. Whatever that is, I hate it. I don't like it. Tyrell's Miami team, I feel like if the game is a track meet, it's cool.
We ain't ready.
When the game slows, like basketball, the game slows down, it's a different thing.
That's true, Big Shot.
I can't, and then here's another people I can't stand. I'm gonna let y'all have it. I can't stand Kansas City skill players after Travis Kelce.
What other skill player they do have?
I don't like any of it.
You mean Taylor Swift and the Swiftettes?
That's who they are. That's a great name, Ty. The Kansas City skill position is Taylor Swift and the Swiftettes. I don't like anything. So now that's my rant on football. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna let y'all have it at it for these next 10 minutes, and then we gonna get out of here. And I will mute myself. Trav, you got it. I'm just gonna listen to y'all.
I'm finna go first of all with the Dolphins.
Ah, damn, here he go.
I tell you that, Ty, and I tell everybody else the few minimum of Dolphin fans that I know of, which is very few. Win a game against a team that's on the same level or as a competitive level as y'all.
Chargers.
Be Kansas City. Chargers ain't shit. No, we ain't gonna do that.
Chargers
we're not gonna do that. We're not
They something.
No. The Chargers haven't won a game that mattered in 15 years.
The Chargers are in the same boat as Miami. So Miami going to win that game. They didn't beat Kansas City. They didn't beat Buffalo. They did who else they didn't play? They lost 3 games, right?
Eagles.
Okay. Those teams have somewhat of high playoff level football clubs. They're not beating them. Yes, you're beating the teams that you're supposed to beat, which that's what you're supposed to do to make it to the playoffs. But when you run up against those teams in the regular season, you're going to run up against those same teams in the playoffs, and they're not winning. You got to win those games. I
know we talking AFC. I'm gonna mute myself again. Miami has the same problem that Dallas has.
They play to the level of their competition.
Dallas, the Cowboys do what you against teams they supposed to beat.
They win.
Dallas does what you're supposed to do. You run them off the field. That ain't who you're gonna play in the playoffs, though.
Philadelphia. 49ers. They fold up.
Not the Cardinals, though.
Here's the problem.
No.
Here's the problem. We've reached no troll, not even smiling no more, not even fun. It's strictly business right now. We've reached a time where I'm no longer trolling, playing, nothing that I can tell y'all what it is now. I've reached that point where it's crystal clear who's who. There are certain teams in the NFL that can go to any given Sunday that can chase you in your own building. There are certain teams that can do that. There are certain teams that are going to be good in their building. And then there's other teams that are not good in any other building but their own. What I mean by that, home, obviously. If Kansas City's at home, they're going to be a tougher team to beat. So Kansas City needs home field advantage throughout the playoffs. If Kansas City falls to 2 and they got to go to Cleveland and play in the snow, that favors Cleveland. They got to go to Pittsburgh and play in the snow, that favors Pittsburgh. Now, with that offense that Pittsburgh has, that's the problem. But Big Shot, because I agree with you. It's hard to watch. It's hard to digest. But the problem ultimately with Baltimore is, what if I told you Baltimore second through fourth quarter is Pittsburgh for 60 minutes?
They had it.
It's to that point where we know what's what. Philadelphia is going to be there, whether they're in the road or they're at home. But Philadelphia and Dallas both got the same problem. They lose on the road. They win at home. Dallas and Philadelphia have not lost a game at home. I don't think Philadelphia has lost a game at home in almost a year and a half now, if I'm not mistaken.
They held up. They've been holding up.
So we're not going to get anything until we start going on the road. On the road is where it's going to matter. Who has the testicular fortitude to go on the road to another person's house and take something from them? That's where the quarterback comes into play. There are no more Tom Brady's. There are no more Ben Roethlisberger's. There are only Joe Burrows and Pat Mahomes. And then after that tier, we got people like DW4 walking up there talking about they want to beat him again. I named Deshaun because Deshaun was a taker in college. Deshaun's been a taker at every level he's been at. The point I want to make is, if Cincinnati gets in the dance, Cincinnati is automatically going to probably be the second favorite if it's not Kansas City. Because they have the quarterback that's already proven he can get there. Do not allow Cincinnati to get in the dance. The AFC, are you listening?
That's true, though.
Do not allow them to get in the dance. Period. Miami, they're not ready because their skill position, it's the defensive skill position players that they need healthy. We have not seen Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey with that pass rush, with those safeties, and put it all together. We need to see that.
I love how Josh changes his picture every 30 seconds.
Every 30 seconds.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
So
life is like a slideshow. Because life is like a slideshow.
Yeah, slideshow.
But
fellas, this has been go ahead. So
finishing it up, Macaulay Culkin is the most proven quarterback not named Patrick Mahomes in the AFC, probably in the league. It just is what it is. What y'all need to remember is, moving forward, going down the stretch, we're going to get back into some more of this, some more views and stuff like that later in the week. Your team, I'm going to start telling y'all when y'all should give up and start getting ready for the proverbial off season. This week's body of work from Views and Germ is, I'm letting y'all know every day there will be 4 teams I will be letting know starting tomorrow. I'm putting the pink slip on your door. You got 3 days to get your SH and get out.
And there you have it. And there you have it. Listen, we want to shout out everybody that came through. Views from the 22, The Dish, G2, J Hams Connect with the coach, my man Red that came through. Listen, this was a fun show. 94 Feet of Life, watch along. We talk, we cover, sprayed all fields, they say in baseball. Remember, subscribe to the YouTube, notifications on. We're gonna repost this show across all our networks, all the group. Enjoy the rest of your basketball night. Enjoy your football weekend. Stay tuned. Keep the notifications on. We'll be back. Signing out.